Hello YouTube, this is Kris Nicholson. I'm here to show you my Pro Stage keyboard line. Now these are a lot of keyboards that you see a lot of the pros using on stage. They don't have any speakers, and also they have more of the sample waveform memory, and plus I have modules. Okay, so let's start out with the modules. This over here, this is a Roland SY85. Now this module is fully General MIDI compatible. This was almost like the first of the General MIDIs. And top of that, it has GS capabilities. You have eight sliders, which actually 9 sliders because you have this one as all. And meanwhile, you're working with your sequencer like Cakewalk. You can mix it. You could do the sliders in real time, and Cakewalk will recognize it. By the way, Cakewalk is owned by Roland. This module has over 600 or 700 sounds on here. Has a backlit LCD screen. It's 16-part multi-timbre, which is really neat. And really cool sounds on it. So those were the earliest days of the GS General MIDI line. Right over here, here's another General MIDI module right here. This is a Yamaha QY100. Now, you can write to me and say it's gold, of course, because I sprayed it gold. I took all the outsides. I was traveling around with it, and I went all over places, and it got mucked up a little bit, so I sprayed it gold. But you have over 400 instruments on here. You have over probably 200 rhythms on here. Plus you can make your own rhythms and styles on here. You have a full 16-track sequencer on this thing. This over here, this is like a PSR 8000 in a module, which is pretty cool. The workstation capabilities are endless on this thing. You can manipulate stuff, you can take stuff from other styles. It's really cool. I'm doing another video on that. Now up here, this is an MT32. This is an LA synthesis module. This module got started out of the Roland D-series keyboards, like the D5, D10, D20, D50, and D70, which is really neat. Next one over here, this is an M1R module. This is an M1 keyboard in a module. So you get 100 programs, you get 100 combinations, you got sequencer, 8-track sequencer on here, and you have the card capability. So this is the same thing as an M1, but in a module version. Next down here, you have an M1R EX. Now the EX capability, you have more wave megabytes in the sounds, and you get some of the capabilities of the T-series sounds. So put them both together, you get a T3 or a T2. And really cool, so I got them both. Now, here we go. We're going to go start with the keyboards. This over here, this is a Yamaha DX7. This is what started the synthesizer line. There was a regular DX7. This one is a DX7S, which the body here is a lot different. On top of that, you get a backlit screen. You have all the same capabilities of a DX7. You have a different card structure slot, which is really neat. Also, it's a lot lighter than a DX7. A lot of people ask, can you make a DX7 but much lighter case and more professional? And they made this one. A lot of people still like to use the original DX7 though. Next one over here, this is one of my favorite SY keyboards. This is a SY85. Now as you can see, I have a card right here because you can store in your own memory on the card, plus you have a floppy disk drive. This is a workstation, but they also call it a music synthesizer. 61 full-size keys. I like the action on this. The sounds on here are AWM2, which is advanced wave memory. You have over 512 sounds on this instrument alone, plus you have 212 combinations, which is really neat. Okay, next one over here, this is my vocal keyboard, BP550 by Roland. And I can't sing a note at all. As you can see that my voice is kind of hurting a little bit. But all I have to do is just whisper very low, press the key, put whatever instrument I want, and it sings it. And which is pretty cool. So I have that. It has a little joystick. It has jazz scats. It got man and women's choir. It got boys choir. It has vocoder, which is really, really neat. So this is, I saw the Roland rep at Sam Ash demonstrate that, and I was totally in love. I bought it the same day. 49 full-size keys though on here. Next one you have over here, this is a General Music S3 music processor workstation keyboard. This has 76 full-size keys, but it has weights on the bottom of it, so it's weighted. You have a very beautiful LCD screen. You have over 450 instruments on here. On top of that, you have a full algorithm sample capability on this machine. You have a floppy disk drive, pitch bend modulation. You have 2 sets of MIDI in, out, and throughs on this thing. Now, this keyboard, it's a very good controller, but it's very heavy to carry around. Very, very heavy. I like to use this because I can hook up all my modules straight to this and just control everything from one keyboard through the 16-track sequencer. But by the way, the sequencer is very easy to work. Now, over here, this is one of my favorite Chord keyboards. This is a Chord T2, and this is a full music workstation. But you have an 8-track sequencer on here. The piano sound is a lot better than this one, but also the pad sounds is a lot better than this one. But also, what I like about it is that you have 4 sets of MIDI outs. You have MIDI in and through, and also you have 200 programs, 100 combinations, floppy disk drive, 8-track sequencer, 76 keys right at you. And this is not as heavy as the S3 right here. There's also a T2 and a T1, which I had in my previous years and everything. The T2 was too small, and the T3 was too small, and the T1 was very heavy for me. Okay, now last but not least, this is my baby. This over here, this never leaves my house, and it used to because it was so heavy for me to carry. But I kind of stopped carrying around because it's very expensive what I had to pay for it. This over here, this is a Roland Phantom X8 version 2 expanded. Now, what I mean by version 2 expanded is that first you got a regular Phantom X8, which has over 1,000 sounds. On top of that, you have sample capability, which is no problem because they upgraded with that. You have the drum pads, just like on an MPC. You have the D-beam. You have the vocoder. You have a color screen. It's not on, but it's actually a color screen on here. 88 pH naturally scaled weighted keys. Top of that, you have 4 expansions. Now, what I mean by the version 2 is the audio track expansion that you have on here. Not only that's not the only upgrade, but let me show you. Right over here, I upgraded it to the max. I got the World Collection, the Complete Orchestra, the Platinum Tracks, and the Big Brass Ensemble. And those are all the sounds I need just to complete this keyboard. Now, those cards itself have over 400 or 500 instruments itself. So I have countless amount of instruments on this card. Another thing that I normally don't do this, but here's all the expansions right here. So I got that there, plus I lock it up, which is really cool. I also have this, which is my sample card, and this is a 2 gig sample card that I have on here, and it has over 10,000 samples on here. So this is my mega workstation out of all of my workstations. I love the 88 keys because I'm a pianist, and I love the whole workstation capability of this Phantom. Now, you see all of these keyboards. I usually have more pro keyboards, but this is actually my end of my keyboard segment of the demo. There will be more coming. When more comes, I'll give you more demos on them. But I just wanted to show you off my pro stage keyboard line. Anyway, YouTube, thank you very much for watching my videos. I'm going to do a video about the pianos at my store, and just give me your opinion on all these keyboards and pianos that you see. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.